Hello and welcome to Tales from the Backlog. My name is Steve Boshear and I will be your game master this evening. Tonight we are playing Don't Rest Your Head, which is an out of print tabletop RPG from Evil Hat Productions. It's one that I personally love. It's heavily inspired by like Neil Gaiman works like Neverwhere, mostly Neverwhere. Hello, Nerdy Seraphim. Um, yeah, so without further ado, let's introduce our players.
My name is Mia. I'll be playing Natalie Kroll, an ER nurse.
My name is Matt. I'll be playing Marshall Forwards, a 40-year-old dude living in the past.
Bienvenidos. And I just forgot how to say my name in Spanish. I'm Jason, and I'm playing Fritz Howard, a really burnout service/retail drone.
Hi, I'm Kenny Johnson, and I'll be playing Bill Foster, a recently fired middle manager at a local corporation.
All right. So the premise of this game is that all of you are insomniacs for various reasons. Maybe too much coffee, maybe working too much, maybe you suffered a recent trauma and you cannot sleep because of the nightmares. Whatever the reason, you've all been up for days and days. And soon you will begin to experience things that only the awake ever experience. But before we get quite that far, why don't we throw it over to Jason, who can tell us how it is that we are meeting Fritz Howard.
Oh, man. So Fritz Howard has been working 4 days. Not just 4 days, but days and days and days. Like double shifts, back to back. I mean, clopening constantly. And his only real respite is he does regular free running. He's really into parkour, and so he has been running around the city. Just that is his outlet. It is his freedom. It is his only real freedom right now, at least in his heart. It's his only real freedom. And tonight, we can say it's tonight.
Yeah.
All right. So tonight on his run, he's just been, pushing himself more and more, just further pushing. And, he's taking turns, just leaping over people, like just crazy style, just doing those crazy, like kung fu style corner jump things. And he comes around, he ducks around a corner, ducks through an alleyway, and he knows his way through here. I mean, he's worked at this place before. This is some old restaurant he worked at, and he knows the people that work there. So he's in his head, he's gonna cut through here. He's gonna take this door, cut through the back, cut through the front. Fuck him, who cares? Cuts through the door, opens the door, just shoots through, and he's on the roof. Not this roof, but he is on the roof. He is just on a menagerie of rooftops, as just sprawling out. And when he comes through the door, he hasn't quite realized where he is yet, when he just runs right smack into this fucking kid, maybe middle school aged, who is part of a gang of middle school aged kids bullying some paper boys. And yes. I want to make sure I remembered how the paper boys look.
They are literal boys made of paper.
Okay, yeah, that's
origami folded newspapers in the shape of boys.
And that's that's kind of freaking him out because, wait, the fuck, what is this?
Yeah.
So he is just pissed off the roof rats who were trying to extort the Paperboy's cash flow.
And I will add, Fritz, it's quite obvious to you that it's not going well for the roof rats, but it doesn't seem to be obvious to the roof rats. Like, they think that they're bullying these paper boys and that they're about to get their lunch money, but also, like, a couple of them just got stabbed to death off in the corner, and the paper boys are not afraid at all. So there's some sort of weird disconnect here where they're having two different conversations. So that's where we will leave Fritz for now. Bill.
So Bill Foster is just this kind of nice looking, middle-aged guy. Everyone seems to like him. Everyone thinks he's got it together. But he's burning the candle at both ends, right? Trying to keep his employees happy as well as his bosses happy, right? And it's a Sisyphean task of deadlines. And to get by, he's staying up all night working, doing reports, making sure he's got the right covers on his TPS reports. And the morning of this day where we're starting, Bill goes into work like any other day, tired, only to find out that he's been fired. He's given, despite all the years in the company, he's told to clear out his desk and leave within 30 minutes or he'll be escorted out by the police. As he's piling in his box, he's, just sort of already dazed, already without sleeping, already just trying to piece his life together, meanders home, literally walks home instead of driving home. He's just so out of it, and comes home to find his wife in the arms of another man. He had already basically had neglected his spouse for all these years, trying to make, his way up the corporate ladder. Angered and enraged, he goes to get the gun, but then he just starts noticing that things are off, and we can leave Bill as he's just sets everything down except the gun, his briefcase, and walks out the front door.
Okay.
Natalie is working her night shift on the ER. It's been a rough night. Many people have been coming and going. She's, over the last several weeks, just been trudging along, surviving on caffeine pills and Concerta to stay awake because she's having nightmares. Her boyfriend had died in a car wreck. This evening, in the ER, an ambulance arrives, and they offload a young man who looks vaguely familiar, almost like her boyfriend that died. And she can't do her job. She breaks down in the ER, collapses to the floor in a heap, and cries. The rest of the staff are able to stabilize the young man and move him to his room. But she's escorted to the break room and is asked to take a leave of absence. And she walks out of the hospital. Once an attractive 30-something who prided herself on her looks and her fitness is now wearing her boyfriend's oversized clothes to remember him. And her hair is disheveled, and she no longer wears makeup, and she has no light in her eyes. She wants to live only to help others, and she just was asked to leave her job. And she walks despondently through the streets.
Okay.
All right. So we meet Marshall in his front yard. Marshall has a long history of being incredibly good at football in high school. However, high school was at least 20 years ago, and all Marshall can think about is dropping the game-winning pass at the high school championships for football back when he was there, and it just eats at him over and over again his whole life. What I've started to do is make videos, just reliving that experience, trying to figure out how it is that I went wrong, what happened. It's at this point that my nephew comes and just starts screaming at me, throwing whatever he can pick up at me. I'm just totally caught off guard, and he's yelling at me something about his girlfriend, something about vitamins and me trying to sell some vitamins to her for some kind of enhancement. And I'm just confused. I'm just trying to make my videos and figure out what went wrong with my life, how I didn't make it into the NFL. And that's when he just sucker punches me right in the gut and rides off on his bicycle. So I find my way to the ER, just being a real baby about what just happened. Just want to make sure that nothing's broken or bruised, no internal bleeding. I just really want to get checked out. And so I head to the ER just to see what I can find, but just really despondent, just really trying to sort my life out and feel.
Okay. Well, Bill, you walk out the front door of your home, gun in hand, and when you set foot out front, the driveway that you're in isn't yours. And you're in such a state that you don't notice at first. You've gone a good 10 or 15 yards before you kind of look around and realize you're in a parking garage. You're not sure how you got here. So you go to leave the parking garage, get out to the street, maybe see where you are, and the next thing you know, you're on the roof of the parking garage. Across the way from you, you see that guy that sells you sandwiches in the middle of the night. And he seems to be standing on the neighboring rooftop surrounded by children made out of animated newspapers. I think you're muted.
Bill's confused by what he sees and just sort of kind of like looking around, making sure his head is okay. Looks down at his briefcase, looks down at the gun, kind of just sort of trying to place it back in his mind, like, hey, wait, how did I get here? Kind of like when you show up in a room in your house with a plate in the laundry room, and you're like, wait, where was my brain when I got here? How did this happen? And then he tries to recall. Does he recall Fritz's name? Does he know him from on a first name basis at least?
That's up to you.
Yeah. He's the kind of guy who would just learn, a service person's first name, just to, that little nicety of so he kind of looks at him, kind of goes, Fritz, is that you?
So Fritz, in the midst of this bizarre nightmare scene of origami children stabbing Victorian bullies on rooftops, that guy that you've seen in the middle of the night sometimes at work yells to you from a nearby parking garage with a gun in his hand.
Well, I don't respond at first. In part because of the scene in front of me of the origami children stabbing the Victorian bullies. But then it starts realizing, wait, someone's calling my name. Who would know my name out here? Like, in whatever nightmare I've just woken up in. And I look around to where they're calling from, and I see Bill, and I think, oh my God, it's that guy. Because I don't know Bill's name. I know He's that guy that learned my name. Oh my god! Why did anyone want to know my name?
And
Why
Bill's
can't I
kind of
just
like awkwardly
service
holding the
phone?
briefcase and waving.
So Steve, about how much have I stepped into this paperboy roof rat conflict?
At the
Like how
moment, yeah, I was just going to get to that. At the moment, they are a good 15 yards in front of you. And if they have noticed you, they have not acted like they've noticed you. Like you're on the periphery of their vision, but they're busy.
okay. Yeah, then I look over at Bill and hey you what and I'm making weird, like I'm incredulous. I'm honestly at a real loss for words. About how far is Bill away from me, and what's the terrain look like between us?
Okay, so the rooftops that you two are on do not match. He is on the roof of a modern 2020s parking structure, and you appear to be on top of a Victorian apartment block. It makes no sense. However, the two roofs are only separated by about 3 feet. You could step over without even jumping. And looking around you, this rooftop hellscape, all of it sort of fits this description of mismatched buildings from different eras. Some very nice, some trashed, some brand new, and some very old. Some look like they should be old but show no signs of wear and tear. And they're all just packed together super densely, like a steampunk version of the favela rooftops in Rio. It's just a mess. And yeah, Bill is, from where you're standing, you could get to him in about 4 steps.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Oh, I thought you were a little further away than that. Your voice carried weird amongst the rooftops.
Oh, that's normal.
Oh, yeah. Well, what are you doing here, man?
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, that's the topic of the day here. So, yeah, these guys seem like they're having some fucking troubles, and I really don't want to get involved with this because, yeah, those kids are getting murdered by paper people.
Yeah, and Bill is just sort of like trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and he's willing to go anywhere at this point. If Fritz wants to get out of there, he'll follow Fritz.
Let me ask a character question to both of you guys. You are witnessing what appears to be human children losing a fight against monsters.
Okay.
Are you both prepared to just walk the hell away from that?
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were saying they were like Victorian bullies, but no, they're
No,
Victorian.
They are
Victorian bullies.
young teenage Victorian bullies. Yeah, but very much human.
So at that point, Bill will just shout, just as like the assured normal middle-aged white guy would do, right? Just like, hey, stop it. Knock that shit off. And he's waving the gun at him. Hey.
Okay, so the about a half a dozen little paper heads turn and look towards you, Terminator style, and we're gonna take a break right there and check in on Natalie and Marshall. So Natalie, you have just been put on leave, and you are staggering your way out of the hospital. Marshall, you really want something dramatic to have happened to you, so you are staggering your way towards the hospital. You guys see each other coming through the glass of the door. Marshall, you see what looks like someone who probably should go right back into the hospital. Just a mess of a person wearing clothes that are way too big that, as far as you can guess, she may have found in a dumpster or stolen from a Goodwill. And Natalie, you see a large, muscled man, probably with a beer gut, right? Coming up to the hospital, clearly with nothing at all wrong with him. Maybe something internal, but he's not bleeding. He's walking fine. Every now and then he remembers to put his hand down on his gut where he got punched. And the two of you reach the door at about the same moment. It's a hospital entrance, so there's a lot of side-by-side doors. You're not at the same one. You're at adjacent doors. You both open the door, Marshall pulling and Natalie pushing, and you step through, and you both find yourself in a completely different location. Natalie, you have stepped out of the hospital into what appears to be some sort of very loud, very active swap meet or farmer's market. And you're in the middle of it. Turning around, you do not see the hospital building. Marshall, you have also stepped into this market, and turning around, you do not see the hospital building, but you do both see each other. The only consistent element from the other place is each other.
So in my haste to get in the door, I'm going to also do the middle-aged white guy thing and look at Natalie and ask her if she works here.
I kind of look at him with a kind of a blank stare, and I'm like, weren't you just on your way into the hospital? Where are we now? I worked at the hospital. But
I don't know where we are now, but if you worked at the hospital, could you maybe check me out? I got punched earlier, and I'm really struggling just right in this area here.
She's not in scrubs or anything. Like,
I asked her if she worked there.
yeah, you did. Okay.
I was like, I'm not a doctor, but I am a nurse. I could maybe give you a quick once-over.
Yeah, if we could do that real quick before we figure out where we are. I just want to make sure that I'm not dying. Do I look like I'm dying?
I'm a little disoriented. I'm sorry, what was your name?
My name is Marshall.
Okay, well, my name is Natalie, and I think the thing we should do first is to get away from here, get out of this crowd. Then I'll give you a quick look over.
As you say that, Natalie, a large, heavy-set woman in a big dress is pushing past you, and as she does so, the dress kind of catches on your clothes a little bit and lifts up, and you see that underneath of it, there's a bunch of animal cages full of little animals just helping round out the bottom of the dress as she goes past. She says, "Excuse me, dearie," and just pushes right past you.
I kind of stagger backwards a little bit with a stunned look on my face. This is... I must be cracking up. I must be losing my mind. Did you see that?
Yeah, you did.
Do you mean all the animals? I did.
Very
Marshall,
peculiar.
a man comes up behind you, which you can tell because he very creepily puts his hand on your shoulder and leans in around you like this, and he says, "Hey, you want an injury? I can sell you one."
Sorry, it cut out a little bit. Do I want a what?
An injury. I can sell you one. I see you might have need of one.
I think I already have one. I'm not too sure. Just trying to figure out where I am so that this lady over here can help me out.
You're trying to drive a bargain, aren't you? Don't worry, I'm not going to overcharge you. I think I've got something for the stomach. And he opens his coat and he starts going through all these random trinkets that he has in this huge pocket. It's like there's literally a thimble, there's one die in there, there's like a feather tied into a ball. He's just rummaging through. He's like, oh, where is that thing? Where is that thing?
I don't know about you, Marshall, but I kind of like start to back away, but I grab you kind of like the end of your bottom edge of your shirt and kind of tug you. Come on.
Yeah, I'm fully willing to go.
As you leave, the guy turns and looks at you and says, if you change your mind, just come back. Ask around for Billy Swift.
Okay, where are we so I know where to ask for Billy Swift?
Well, it's the market.
But the market where?
The bazaar.
This is bizarre. Where are we?
You're in the bizarre bazaar.
Oh, thank you for nothing. Let's go, Natalie.
You're welcome.
Let's see if we can't find a street sign or something to get our bearings. And when the moment comes, I will give him a quick exam. Like, where does it hurt?
Oh, he punched me right here, and I was kind of like motioned to all of me. He punched me right here, and man, it really hurts. He's a scrawny kid, but man, he packs a real punch, and I'm not sure if I'm just terribly hurt.
Well, I do a quick exam. I don't know. Do I see any bruising on Marshall at all?
No. If you were to see this in a textbook, it would be under the word "just fine."
Yeah. I'm not seeing any bruising here. I think you're probably fine. I've dealt with a lot of victims of violence. You should be fine.
I'll take your word for it. Let's go find a street sign or something.
Okay. So we will leave you two and cut back to Bill and Fritz. The Paperboys have given you their attention, Bill. So have the roof rats, by the way, the human ones. You don't know that they're called the roof rats. The Paperboys is obviously their name. So, yeah, you've got these paper children looking at you, and you've got the actual children looking at you. And they're just motionless for a moment. And then one of the human ones yells out, "Hey! Watch your mouth, Buster!"
And Bill's confused, like he thought he was helping. He was helping one, and then he's trying to figure out, like, okay, wait, what's going on here?
All right, well, Fritz had this for the last few moments has been backing up. he is recognizing a conflict when he sees one, and he does not want to be a part of it. He is a conflict-averse person. But when that kid talks, oh my God, his goofy fucking accent, and Fritz just snickers. Just a snicker giggle that cuts through all the noise.
And all the children turn and look at you instead, Fritz.
Oh no! Oh poops! Hey kids!
Hey, this clown's laughing at me. Get him, fellas! and all of the roof rats come charging at you. Meanwhile,
yeah.
all of the paper boys turn back to look at Bill again, and they start to stand up from where they were just pounding some roof rats into the rooftop, and they start realigning themselves and walking towards you, Bill.
Well, Fritz is gonna bolt.
Quite well, I imagine.
Oh yeah. He is definitely flight over fight.
Okay. What
And
will
these
Bill
may
do?
be children, but can I take and I'd like to take an exhaustion die with this.
Yes, but before we roll that, I want to know what Bill's going to do.
Okay.
Bill's gonna say, "Hey, tissue boys, do we have a problem here?"
Yeah,
and he's got the gun out.
okay. They are not phased by your firearm.
Uh,
They are running towards you at this point. When you taunt them, they break into a run towards you.
all right. I guess he's gonna just start opening fire.
Okay. So we'll come back to that. You guys are both using your exhaustion talents right now. So I guess.
This is my madness talent.
Oh, shooting is your madness talent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
No, you do not have to do it as a madness talent if you don't want to do madness this early, but that's up to you. You could just shoot like a regular person.
No, we're going madness.
Okay. Well, Jason called it first, so let's roll that parkour dice.
Yeah.
How much pain How much pain is getting on me?
We're gonna make this simple. This is gonna be a 3 pain to roll against.
All right.
And I have rolled 2 successes.
I got 1, 2, 3 successes. Exhaustion. Or what's your highest die number?
It's 6.
Fuck. I got 3 successes, but it sounds like pain is dominating.
What would have dominated without me?
Exhaustion.
Okay. Yeah, pain is dominating, so you get away. However, in so doing, you have completely lost track of your only normal connection in this world, Mr. Bill Foster. You were gone, and you don't know where Bill is. So now both of you are going to suffer for that one. Bill, go ahead and kill me a paper boy.
All right. So how do we roll this?
So you roll as many madness dice as you would like to add, plus your exhaustion dice, which are 3. I mean, your discipline dice, which are 3.
3.
Currently, you have no exhaustion unless you want to add 1.
Gotcha. And then
You're going to be
Okay.
rolling against. Each paper boy only has. Well, let's see. One of them is 2. I said there were 6 of them.
yeah.
So you're going to be rolling against 7 dice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
and
starting with
what's
your
the-
3 discipline, add however many madness and or exhaustion
Ooh.
you want.
And the exhaustion are the black dice.
Yeah, and they stick around.
Okay, but madness, if you roll, then they don't necessarily stick around. I'm trying to remember how that.
That's
mechanic
right.
works.
Giving yourself a point of exhaustion now means that you just stay that exhausted for the rest of the game, and you accrue more and more points as you add them to your rolls. But the
Gotcha.
madness ones don't stack like that. You can add them now, and you won't have them next roll unless you want them again.
Gotcha. So I could roll like 6 madness, basically.
You could, but that will increase the chance that madness is going to dominate, which has potentially bad effects.
Gotcha. Because if I'm rolling higher on the madness pool versus the.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I was reading the mechanic and trying to figure it out. So
Yeah, it's an interesting system. It's actually not that complicated, but
Alright.
it's just weird.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll 3 madness then.
Okay.
Just to, because if I'm and three regular.
Okay.
All right. So my highest is Madness,
Okay.
a 5,
All right.
and then I got 4 successes.
You got 4 successes. You tied my number of successes. You're the protagonist, so that means you win. Yes, what's up, Jason?
We should also have a point of despair right now.
Oh, yeah, because pain dominated on your roll.
Yes.
Let me turn that on. So you and I tied for number of successes, Kenny, which I believe means that you win.
Okay.
Because you're the protagonist. Oh, these are fake, but we'll leave one there. However, madness dominates, which means the situation is about to get more chaotic. I'm looking at a cheat sheet over here. So you need to check off a fight or flight response. And the chaos of the situation is that you actually do shoot one of the paperboys dead on your first shot. But he blows into scrap paper all over the roof. And when the dust clears, there's a whole bunch of paperboys, and all of a sudden they're doing parkour like Fritz was. And they're running after you. Some of them are actually turning and running the other way. Some are coming towards you. You can't even keep track of all the different directions they're going. So check off fight or flight and role play appropriately.
All right. So basically, I have to check off. So I had 3 fights, so I go down to 2. So
Oh,
what you're saying-
you picked only fight?
I picked only 5.
You do not have the option to flee. Okay.
Yeah. I told you. I put fight 3. Currently, he has no more fucks to give. So.
All right. So I guess you're going to keep shooting.
Yes.
Well, you already rolled for the shooting, so I guess you're going to keep shooting them all until they run away.
Or die.
Until they die or run away. But you have clearly made an enemy out of whatever the fuck these things were.
Right.
The human children have also just disappeared. By the time the battle is over, you don't know where they are anymore. You are very aware that Fritz bailed. And
Well,
by
there
the way,
goes this
this is something I wanted to bring up. This game is written to encourage. Most tabletop RPGs, the party has to stick together, is the general assumption. That's not necessarily the case in this game. This game encourages us, if you don't have a reason to stay together, don't force it. So I gave you guys loose reasons why you might, but if Fritz is going to run and Bill's going to fight, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, Natalie and Marshall, you have found your way to the edge of the Bizarre Bazaar. It is not a fun place. You have seen a lot of very weird people, some of them quite smelly, and eventually you find your way to, as Marshall suggested, a street sign. It is literally a sign on a corner that it's made of metal and it's been bent around the pole so that it points 90 degrees in both directions at the intersection. And on one side of it has been painted this street with an arrow, and on the other side has been painted that street with another arrow. It's relatively calm here. You've got a little distance from where the market is.
So helpful.
That was an unusual place. I think the further we get away will be the best. Marshall, how are you holding up?
I think I'm starting to feel better. I'm just not sure what we should do with this information that we have, that we can go this way or that way.
I have no idea where we're at. This is I'm at a loss. I feel like I've completely snapped that I finally broke. But we'll find our way somewhere. Are you in any pain at all?
Emotionally, yes. But if you've got a coin, I don't have anything on me. Just my wits are somewhere about me. But if you have a coin, we can flip it and pick one of these places to go.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, you guys want to roll a die? Even it's this street, odd it's that street.
Okay, I'll roll one. I'll roll a d6. Hold on.
It's a coin.
Odd. So yeah, it's an odd, Steve.
Okay, you're going down that street. That street takes you away from the bazaar, and kind of you're going uphill. It's actually an absurdly steep hill, like San Francisco City Street steep. So after you go about a half a block, you're able to turn and look back and see that the Bazaar is incredibly huge. This sea of tents and vendor stalls and people milling about goes on for acres before you can see the rest of the city start to pick up again on the other side of it. It's just so weird. You've never seen anything like this. It's like New York Central Park big. So that's what's behind you. Around you, the city is starting to get a little weird in a different way. The buildings are starting to become less and less chaotic and more uniform the further you go in this direction. All of the angles are square. They're not dirty here the way they were when you started walking, and the architecture is all starting to match. It all looks very turn of the century, perfect straight angles, perfectly clean. They look like office buildings.
Well, this is definitely better than the bazaar. Does the night sky look any different? Like the moon a different color, or the stars look odd?
Well, fun fact,
it
was daytime when you two were at the hospital. It is night now. That's another thing that changed as soon as you passed through the doors. So it looks the same as it has since you got here. You don't know the stars well enough, especially in an unfamiliar city, to tell if there's anything wrong with it. Nothing's jumping out at you. You can see the Big Dipper. That's probably the only one you know. But yeah, it looks like a normal night sky in a city.
Do we see anything around us besides like monotonous buildings?
If you were to go backwards or turn to the side, yeah, there are other buildings that are less monotonous. Continuing forward up the hill, the buildings actually become more and more monotonous. Let's say homogeneous instead of monotonous.
This direction looks more visually interesting, Marshall. Would you like to go this way?
Are you pointing up the hill or to the side?
To the side.
Okay.
Yes, let's go towards the not white collar work stuff.
Sounds like a Marshall line. All right, so you guys turn down the side. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Just anything that seems ordinary, like cars in the street, mailboxes, traffic lights.
There is one car that passes you. It's a Model T.
As it goes by.
Yeah. And it is actually being driven by a toad in a hat.
Oh.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
I
Yeah,
seem to
I've read
remember a
this.
story about a toad.
This one
A
flips you
wild
off.
ride.
I think that one would too.
I'm sorry, did you say it flipped us off?
No, just you.
Oh. Well, she's a little inclined to fight, so she like runs behind it a little bit and yells at it. It's like, "You stinking toad! How dare you!"
Screech! He stops the car, gets out, waddles around behind it. What did you say?
Like, what was with the hand gesture?
Get out of the road! It's for cars.
You're the only car on the street.
He's like 4'5" and wearing a suit. Yeah, everyone else is afraid to drive. They don't want to hit morons walking through the street.
Are you on your way to the bazaar? You look like you would fit right in.
What's that supposed to mean?
You are definitely not normal from my perspective.
Well, you look like a freak.
When you look like a frog.
I am not a frog. I am a toad.
Oh, pardon my mistake, Toad.
At least I know where I am. In the street. Turns around and gets back in his car. He's decided he doesn't want to waste any more time on you.
Marshall, what's the difference between a frog and a toad?
Maybe some warts. I'm not entirely sure.
They definitely don't walk upright and drive cars.
That's true.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Okay, Fritz.
Heyo. So, am I still being pursued by a bunch of Victorian tweens?
No, you soundly succeeded on that roll.
Okay.
So you lost them. But by the time you stopped
Probably
running,
still running. I mean, I want to make sure that I lost them.
yeah, you lost them,
You know,
and you
sure,
keep.
I think I did, and sure, maybe I did, but I'm going to keep running because that's just—it's what I do. It helps calm me down.
Well, it's been a good 5 straight minutes of parkour for you. So at this point, even you would, even if you are supernaturally gifted at the actual parkour, psychologically, you probably want to stop for a second.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to keep looking around while I'm running.
Yeah. Well, but you noticed something you didn't notice before you stopped. You are standing on what appears to be the wing of an airplane.
Oh.
You're still in the rooftops. You're not far from. You're not in the sky. It's not an airplane that's flying.
No.
If you didn't know any better, you'd say that this plane had crashed here. But there seems to be very little damage to either the plane or the buildings. The wing you're standing on is coming out of a window. And you can see bits and pieces of the rest of the plane as it sticks out different parts of the building.
Oh. Hey, do I see anyone around me?
There are people in the street below you. You're a good 4 stories up at this point.
like what's the topography look like going down from here?
If you were to get a little closer to the building, you could hop your way down air conditioners and windowsills.
Yeah, I think I want to. I'm gonna do that. I'm a little sick of being up on the rooftops.
Okay. You are not being chased or otherwise rushed, so there's no roll required here. You are able to do that with your parkour skills. And you find yourself on the street next to two people arguing about what a frog is versus a toad.
Well, I mean, just thoroughly nonchalantly, I will walk up and say that, well, a frog is a primarily aquatic amphibian, whereas toads are a bit generally less aquatic. That said, you can also tell because toads tend to be about 4 foot something, and they drive old-timey cars.
Yeah, so Natalie and Marshall, this random dude has just dropped down out of the sky and said this to you.
In that moment of being startled, my hand goes out reflexively with like a backhand at him.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, you're from the gym, from the climby gym. Right?
Oh, yeah, you look familiar. I haven't been there in a long time.
It's been a minute. I mean, not like I really have any time to go, but yeah. What?
Right? How did we get here?
Well, I went through the back entry of a restaurant and came up there. I don't know how y'all got here.
Oh, I was leaving the hospital as Marshall was walking in, and we appeared here.
Well, we appeared over there. I am Marshall.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, at the bazaar. Very bizarre.
Yeah, I agree. This place is very bizarre. But what is going on?
I don't know. I don't see any landmarks that I recognize.
Well, there are some crashed planes up above. If that helps.
Is there anybody injured up there?
Probably. No, definitely yes, and probably yes. I saw some kids getting stuck up by some paper boys, and then this guy started shooting the place up, or I'm assuming he was shooting the place up, because that's all I could hear as I was running the other way, because some of them kids started coming after me.
Paper boys. Do people actually get newspapers delivered?
That's a really good question, and I understand the confusion. I should have been clearer. Like, actual boys made a paper. Like, if you took some paper and, like, newspaper and, like, folded it up in the shape and size of a boy. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm just describing what I saw.
Well, if there's anybody hurt, I would be inclined to go and see if I can help.
Well, we could try to make our way back. That would be a goal that's potentially achievable. Putting a bit of stress on potentially there.
Yeah, I was going to stress that as well.
Because when I took off, I just kind of bolted, and at least for the first stretch of that run, was not paying any attention to anything but putting distance between me and a bunch of savage little tweens in the dungaree-doos. And I didn't want any of that kind of trouble. I don't want to deal with tweens. Ugh.
But you said something about airplanes that had crashed?
Yeah, no, look up.
Yeah, there is indeed a wing coming out of the window up there.
Do we hear any sounds of despair? Like injured people calling for help?
You do not.
True, Marshall has not spoken recently.
I get it.
But I would like to climb up to the airplane and see if there are any like crash victims that I can help.
All right. You also are able to climb to the airplane without much problem. Marshall.
I'm going to take the stairs.
Oh, Troy.
That's what I thought. Excuse me. So, Marshall, there are no stairs visible out here. Are you going to go in the building?
What do the buildings look like?
Well, the one that you're standing next to that has an airplane wing sticking out of it looks like kind of a New York City brownstone.
Does it look stable? I mean, the fact that there's a crashed airplane into it, am I going to be walking into a building that's going to fall on me?
If you didn't see an airplane wing coming out of one of the windows right now, you would not have any clue there was anything wrong with this building.
Yeah, I'll go inside. I got
All right.
no shame.
You do feel shame, actually, but you're covering it somehow.
I feel shame because I'm beginning to realize that I left someone, I may not know well, but, I've met before, and just kind of left them.
Left him with a gun shooting at children. Paper children.
Yeah, but still, I mean, those kids, those are some savage paper kids. I gotta look at what they were doing to those other kids.
So, Fritz and Natalie, you guys are able to climb up the side of the building while Marshall goes inside the building. Marshall, you are able to find a staircase without much trouble. It is miraculously unlocked, and you are able to walk up the staircase to the roof. However, when you come out onto the roof, you are not on the same building that you went into. Natalie and Fritz, when you reach the roof, there is no door to a staircase that it comes from inside, and Marshall never appears.
That's worrying.
Yes. He seemed to have concerns about his health. I'd be concerned now that he might find himself in a new predicament and find an ailment to suit his current environment.
Well, we can only hope for the best right now. What are we looking for up here again?
I thought maybe there might be victims in this plane that crashed into the building.
Well, it was 5 parkour minutes away. And with that, let's go check in on Bill. Bill, you're alone at this point. What kind of gun do you have?
Revolver.
6 shots?
Yeah.
So it's at this point that you realize that you fired 14 and the gun is still loaded.
All right. He's just sort of confused. Bill will look around, kind of figure out, like, I guess there's tattered pieces of
paper
boys. And then everyone's gone, and he kind of turns around, like, as if expecting them to be there. Hey, Fritz? And then he's kind of like, wait, where'd you go? Fritz? 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 And just yells, Fritz!
It echoes, actually.
Oh. And then he picks up his briefcase nonchalantly and then puts the revolver back in his pocket as if like nothing had happened, and then just looks around on the parking garage for a way down.
Well, the most obvious way down a parking garage is to walk down.
Right.
You don't see a staircase, which is odd. So it might be the only way for you to get down, unless you want to try and climb.
No, I'm not very athletic. So I'll just start going down, looking around for vehicles, see what's in this garage.
Okay. What's in this garage is an odd arrangement of vehicles. There is a horse-drawn carriage in one stall and a Harley-Davidson next to it. There is a unicycle. And next to the unicycle is one of those like 1885 bicycles where the front tire is 5 feet tall and the back tire is just regular sized. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like that's there. And there's all sorts of bizarre, some of them you can't identify. Like one of them looks like it might be a speeder from Star Wars, like in the jungle scene on Endor. Like that's parked here. And yeah, you feel like you might be in a movie studio lot, except there's no movie studio outside. You were just on the roof.
Well, so in Bill's mind, he feels like this is like he's in the middle of the Prisoner episode, right? Because you've got kids with British accents, you've got penny farthing bikes, right? So he's kind of just looking around to see if there's like a big floating white ball that's about to come at him. And when one doesn't come, he's more confused, and he'll just keep walking, just kind of saying, "Hey, Fritz." Fritz, where'd you go?
When you get down a level, there suddenly is a door to a stairwell. And as you approach it, the door opens. And out comes a large, muscular man with a beer belly, looking around like he expected to be somewhere else.
So I'll recognize Marshall, maybe because we went to the same high school. Right?
Yeah.
And I was in the marching band there that day where he failed to throw the ball. And so, he'll remember, Marshall probably doesn't remember him because he was just a nobody on the marching band team, but he remembers Marshall because he was like that star player that everyone had high expectations for. And so I go, Marshall? That you?
Yeah. You are?
Bill Foster. We went to high school together.
Oh.
Yeah, you probably don't remember me. What are you doing here? Where are we?
I was gonna ask you where we are because I just keep running into people and trying to figure out where I am. And every time I go through a door, it takes me somewhere entirely different than what I'm expecting.
Yeah, and Bill's starting to think like maybe he's in a dream. Like how you have that weird dream where like random people in high school start to pop in your head. Like,
yeah,
like I've never thought of you or since the last day of graduation, and like here you are. This is weird.
Yeah, but why are you thinking about me?
No, I wasn't. Like, wait, is this a dream? Is this real?
I understand. Running into Marshall can be dreamlike. Unfortunately, I don't have any answers for you. Maybe there's a specific question you want to ask me, but aside from where are we, I don't know that one.
Well, what's down that way? Because up this way, there's just a bunch of weird vehicles.
So I just came from a brownstone in what might have been New York, and before that, a toad was driving a Model T car, and before that, I was in a bazaar where a guy offered me an injury. So my night's been pretty weird.
That's like Bill's going through his mind trying to figure out like did he take acid or something? Like he's trying to like, okay, what did I order? Did someone slip me something?
On top of that, it was daytime when I went to the hospital, and then that's where I ended up in the bazaar. I did run into somebody named Natalie, and then this guy dropped out of the sky and explained the difference between frogs and toads to us, and then him and Natalie just took off, jumping up and down a building side to get to an airplane that was sticking out of the brownstone that I went into.
And Bill's confused. He's trying to follow. But okay,
That's the clearest way that I can explain it.
Yeah. No, he is the player. I understand it. I'm just saying, Bill as the character is like just confused, like, and then he starts to describe Fritz, right? Like, did he look like this guy?
Yeah, it's exactly what he looked like.
Okay, so maybe I am dreaming.
At this point, you start to hear a sound, like a clanking sound, very rhythmic. It sounds kind of like, I don't know if you can hear that, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost the sound of someone with 3 bottles stuck on their fingers, just going clink, 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 and it's getting closer.
Now, like, thinking this is a dream, he's expecting, like, warriors come out to play.
Yeah, and it does get to where it sounds like this person's about to come around the corner, or whatever's making this noise, when suddenly the stairwell door opens again, and one of those rough and tumble Victorian bully children from the rooftop pops out of the stairwell, holds the door open, and says, "Hey, you gotta come with me."
At this point, Marshall hears like a high-pitched squeal, just like a woman screaming at the top of her lungs, and Bill notices that it's Marshall.
Yes, Marshall, it's a child.
And so Bill just sort of nonchalantly says, okay, and then he grabs, with his briefcase, just sort of like walks into the doorway to follow this Victorian kid.
Marshall is going to go running after them, just like, hey, don't leave me here with that weird sound.
Okay, so when the door closes, this kid says to you, Bill, he says, hey, Knuckles and Dusty, they wanted to kick your ass, but I saw what you did. I think you're okay.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were talking to Marshall. Yeah, no. Why were those toilet paper guys beating on you?
They weren't beating on us. We were taking their lunch money.
Oh, okay. Well, why were you taking their lunch money?
They didn't pay the toll. Neither did you, but you helped us out of a jam, so whatever.
Okay. Well, that's not very nice, but all right.
Anyway, that sound you heard? Them paper boys are coming after you. You made them mad.
Well, I'm sorry I made them mad. So where does this stairwell lead?
Well, it doesn't matter. Point is, these guys, they're not much in a fight. You found that out. You got your boomstick there. You just blow them apart. Problem comes the next day.
What happens the next day?
Well, you make the paper boys mad, they might print a story about you. And when the paper boys print a story, it has a tendency to come true.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can shoot them all day, but if you don't stop the printing press, that story about you is going to come out. And they might write that you get shot in the head with your own gun.
Well, where's the printing press?
I don't know. We live on the roofs.
Well, how do I find the printing press?
See you later, boss. And he runs up the stairs.
Marshall's gonna look at Bill and ask him, "Are you really his boss?"
I guess I gotta go find this printing press, and then Bill's just gonna go down the stairs, like just going off, determined to find wherever this printing press is.
Natalie and Fritz, we're going to cut back to you guys. Did you climb to the roof or did you climb to the wing of the plane?
I think we climbed to the wing of the plane.
Yeah, to the
Okay,
plane.
that's close enough. It's sticking out a top floor window, so you can see the roof anyway. What will you do when Marshall fails to appear?
Well, before Marshall fails to appear, is there anyone there?
No.
No? Okay. I mean, I'm assuming let's look around a bit, and as I'm starting to feel bad about leaving Bill behind, I'm actually kind of looking for anyone who might have seen him. If we find anyone, I'd like to ask them if they have seen him.
Okay. I mean, the city's fairly crowded, but at the same time, you're standing out on the wing of a plane sticking out of a building. So
Well, yeah.
you could see, like, it's not that it's deserted. You can see people in the distance.
Yeah. But there's nobody right here.
Yeah, there's nobody right here.
Well, Natalie, what do you think we should do?
Well, if there aren't any like crash victims in this plane, maybe we could go down and go through the door that Marshall took. Maybe that'll take us to him.
Well,
I'm
you guys
concerned.
haven't been in the plane. You're just standing on the wing of
Well,
it.
I mean, it looks like we could just go through the plane and find whatever central stairway or stairwell this building has.
Okay, let's do that then.
Well, the only way to get in the plane would be to get in the building, or because you're on the wing. If you can picture this, the wing sticking out one side of the building, the nose of the plane would actually be sticking out the perpendicular side of the building.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we can get to like a air conditioning or unit or something, I mean, there are windows in this building,
Yeah,
right?
climb in a window.
Yeah, you could go in
Yeah.
the very window that this wing is sticking out of.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can.
Out of curiosity, how big, like, what kind of plane are we talking about?
It's a passenger plane, but it's like a small one. I don't know plane numbers, but it's like
No, I gotcha.
you could
Gotcha.
you could probably fit, I don't know, 50 to 75 people on it.
Okay, yeah, no, let's go in, find whatever. Let's see if we can find whatever stairwell that that your friend's supposed to come, like, supposedly was coming up, and see what's up with him.
Okay, I wouldn't say he's a friend, but I am concerned for him. Let's go find him.
Okay, you guys make it into the building. For you two, it's not hard at all. And yeah, you are standing on a destroyed floor of an apartment building with a plane going through it. You can see the door of the plane. It is closed.
Is there any
Any
door
residents?
to the room?
Which room?
The room we're in?
Like if you wanted to just ignore
Like
the
a
plane and leave.
building door as opposed to a plane door.
Not from where you are, actually. The plane cuts the room in half.
Oh, all right,
So you
well,
can't see the door, but the floor is broken. So you could maybe climb down the inside.
I mean, there's this plane right here looking us in the face. I'm going to try the door. Will it
Okay. As a matter of fact, the door falls off when you touch it.
And there you go. Poke
Which
my
is
head
good
in.
because there was no clear way to open it from the outside.
That makes sense.
Nothing makes sense right now. Yeah, a door just falling off a plane makes some strange sense.
Sure. I poke my head in. Is there anyone in the plane?
Yes.
Oh, hi. Who's in the plane?
A 75-ish-year-old stewardess who says, "Can I get you something to drink?"
I perk up a little bit. A drink? Could go for a drink.
Well, the alcohol you have to have a ticket for, but I can bring juice, water, soda.
I'm
You
okay.
know what? Water sounds lovely.
Well, you'll have to get to your seat. I can't bring it to you here. The captain does have the seatbelt sign on. We should be landing soon, but for now, you need to get back in your seat and put the seatbelts on.
She's saying this to us from, like, I mean, we're just looking in, right?
Yeah, she's literally leaning
okay.
against a wall as well because the plane's at an angle and she can't stand up
Yeah.
without leaning on it. Yeah.
Ma'am, the plane has landed.
Of course it hasn't.
Well, I was actually seated next to the emergency exit. Which seat was that?
Seat 15C.
I'm gonna. Is there anyone else in the plane?
You can't see from standing in the doorway. You'd have to come
True.
in to look down the hall.
Okay, yeah, I'll venture in.
Well, it's a full house. Everyone here is either old or dead.
Ew. That's definitely got a smell.
You can see seat 15C. There's a skeleton in it. A well-dressed one.
Cool. Delicious.
What is it? Foul smell, Fritz. They
It's a
from
lot
the
of
doorway.
dead old. It's a lot of old people and a lot of dead old people.
As the stewardess walks in with you, a lady leans forward and tugs on her sleeve and says, "Excuse me, miss. Will we be landing soon?"
I turn to this woman and just say, "Miss, you'll be landing eventually. You'll get there eventually."
And the stewardess says, "Hey, he doesn't work with us. I don't know him."
So yeah, 15C. I'm gonna get to my seat, and are there overhead compartments?
Yeah.
I want to check the overhead compartments for like a blanket or something.
Oh, I thought you were going to put the skeleton in the overhead compartment.
Well, that's a good idea too.
Game
I mean,
master
that seems
suggestion.
like a lot of
Yeah.
work.
I fully thought that's
My
what you were
plan
about to
is
say.
use a blanket to not touch the skeleton as I pull them out of the seat, so I can get at the emergency exit.
Yeah. You can do that.
Okay. Cool. So, Natalie, can you run me a little interference with the stewardess for a minute?
Well, absolutely.
Cool.
Ma'am, I would like a drink. I don't have my ticket, but I would like a drink.
Well, we can sell you a ticket for $7.
$7.
$7 for an airplane ticket? Man, I might get on this airplane.
No, it's a drink ticket.
Oh.
You don't
I
fly
figured-
much, huh?
And while she's doing that, I'm going to try and engage, like, open up the emergency exit.
Yeah, maneuver myself so that I'm So the flight attendant's between the two of us, and her back is to Fritz.
Okay.
While I reach into my bag to retrieve $7.
All right. Well, she hands you a little slip of paper that indicates that it is a drink ticket and that you should turn it in when you get your drink. And then she gestures towards an empty seat that is nearby that she probably assumes is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'll sit, again, trying to distract her from Fritz's activity. Can you help me with the seatbelt? I'm having some trouble.
Yes. She tries to, and she can't bend like she used to, but she does it anyway. And she gets you buckled in. So, Fritz,
Thank
you have successfully shoved a skeleton into an overhead compartment. By the manner of dress, you're assuming this guy was old when he got on the plane.
Man, I'm assuming all these people are old.
Well, some of them do not dress their age.
That's fine.
Well, you're now in the
So,
emergency
yeah,
exit seat.
Yeah, can I get this emergency exit open?
Yeah, you can.
And
But it's
usually
going to
a
be there's going to be a struggle. It's difficult to open.
Well, I mean, they usually have really clear instructions on how to do it.
Yeah, but this is an old crashed plane. So whether you can actually jerk that handle up, it's going to be a 2-pane roll.
You know what? About how many madness dice do you think it would take to just break this door?
How many successes do you mean?
Well, so my madness talent is to shatter inanimate objects.
Oh, right, it is. I would let you break it open for 3 successes. To destroy the whole door's existence, I would need 6.
Well, I'm going to grab 3 madness dice then.
Okay.
And I'm just going to at least, I don't want to like disintegrate the door, but I want to break it to the point, like I'm messing with it and trying to follow the instructions, and they're really clear and really easy to follow, and it's not doing what they say, and I'm getting really fucking frustrated with it. And my frustration is going to exert itself by just trying to literally break this door so it gets out of my.
So if this works, you will shatter the lock mechanism.
Oh, fuck.
Oops.
Oh yeah, no. On the one hand, I've got 4 successes.
Okay.
On the other hand, madness just dominated. Unless Pain has got better than a 6 and a 4.
No, Payne got a 3 and a 5.
Oh.
So, yeah, your 4 successes are plenty. As you become frustrated and just keep yanking this handle up, you feel this energy pulse out of your hands, and the latch, the handle, the lock, it all just goes kablooey, and it dents out the door, like the inside, something inside the door blew up, and so the side facing you kind of dents in, even as the door swings open, and in the rushing air outside gets ripped completely off of its hinges. You are now looking out of a crashing airplane at 10,000 feet. We're going to take our break there, and we're going to come back in 10 minutes.
Broke it, now we're breaking.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to the Mad City. We are going to see you guys in 10 minutes. It's 9:58 here, and we'll be back at 10:08-ish. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you to everyone for watching, and we'll be back to finish this soon. Welcome back. We still have one to spare. There has not been very many rolls tonight. We are in the Mad City. Or are we far, far above the Mad City? Fritz Howard?
So Fritz Howard is going to have he's going to check off his final flight response.
Okay.
And he's not going to run away, but you said that like the doorway like cracks open, and outside we're like 10,000 feet up.
Yeah, the plane is currently in the process of crashing.
So Fritz Howard is going to freeze the fuck up and scream.
So is everyone else.
Well, that's literally what the Madness Dominates is doing for him.
Okay.
He is reacting with total fear.
Yes, he is. Okay, understood. All of the other passengers who are still capable of it are screaming. What is Natalie doing? The door behind you where you are sitting has just opened up, and there's rushing wind and things being sucked out.
I would want to try and grab Fritz and head back to the door we came in.
Okay, it's a little
escape.
passenger 57 in here with all the air sucking, and Fritz is right by the door.
Yeah, if any hands come near Fritz, he is going to, like, if anything comes near Fritz, his reaction is going to be to grab a hold of it and start scrambling over it to get away. Like, that basically anything touches him, he's going to react and go, oh shit, yeah, I need to get away from this, and start trying to get away by way of whatever has just touched him.
Well, holding on really tight, I'll try and like pop up and look over the seat at Fritz and try and talk him down. See if I can't calm him down with some friendly words.
Which you'll have to shout over the rushing wind.
Like, Fritz, it's okay. We should go back the way we came in. You know, and point behind me. He's like, it'll be okay.
That sounds like you're trying to like heal my psychological trauma a little bit. That sounds like something that's kind of crazy to do.
Are you?
You might call it mad.
I will make an effort. Now that you mention it, yes.
Okay, let's see how that goes.
So that's 3. I roll my 3 discipline plus.
You have to add, if you're going to use a madness talent, you have to add at least 1 madness die.
1, yeah.
Up to 6.
I'll use 3.
Okay.
So 3 discipline and 3 madness.
And you're trying to heal his psychological trauma having to do with this door blowing open.
Yes.
Well, my intense fear response.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, let's roll that against. You have 6 dice total, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're going to roll against 4 pain dice.
I have 5 successes.
Okay.
High being a 4 on my discipline dice.
Well, how many 4s do you have on your discipline dice?
Just 1, and then 2 3s.
Okay, well, I have 3 4s in my pain roll.
Oh my gosh.
So we get another despair because pain dominates. You have, in fact, calmed Fritz down. And with your 4 successes, I'm going to take this to another level and say, Fritz, you can, in fact, erase that flight response that you checked off. She has used her madness power and has healed you. You are in your right mind. And calm.
We need to get the fuck off this plane. What were you saying?
Back the way we came. Shouting
That is
over
a
the.
brilliant fucking plan. Let's run the fuck away from this situation. I would like to use my free running skill to try and help us both through all the panicking people. Assuming any of these people are actually getting up and trying to get in our way.
They're not. They could not be holding onto their seatbelts tighter if they tried. And they are trying.
They can go on trying as much as they want. Let's hashtag GTFOH off this plane.
Okay. I am going to save an effect for later with this despair coin. The only way I can think of to make pain dominate right now is to have you get sucked right out that door as soon as you get up. And that's a little much given the situation, so we won't be doing that. However, I will be spending that point of despair later in the game.
I hope so. We need the hope.
Yeah. You guys are able to make your way forward towards the cockpit, back to the door you came in. It fell off, as you recall, when you touched it originally. Looking out, you do indeed see the apartment building that you came in through. And as you step through the door, you find yourself coming out a completely different doorway. In a staircase on a parking structure. About a floor above you, you hear a couple of male voices talking to what might be a child, and then some footsteps as the child runs away.
Runs away or away down towards us?
Up. He runs away from you and from them.
It sounds like one of them little tweens I was running away from earlier. But those voices, at least one of those voices sounds familiar.
Yeah, Bill, you hear Fritz below you. Marshall, you know Fritz as well now, so you both hear Fritz's voice coming from below on the staircase.
Hey, you guys up there? Hey.
Oh, Kenny,
Fritz.
you are muted.
Delayed reaction there. I was chewing a chip and I didn't want to ruin everyone's ears. So Bill will yell, "Fritz, is that you?" And then he'll come jaunting down the stairs and say it.
For the first time tonight, the four of you are all in the same place. Bill, you are now aware that the paper boys are going to try and kill you or otherwise doom you with some sort of magic newspaper article.
So yeah, Bill will ask, wherever you guys were, did you see a printing press nearby?
No. But hey, weren't you both talking about some kind of bizarre place? That sounds like somewhere we could get information.
Okay, yeah, we need to find this printing press pretty fast.
As Marshall comes down the stairs and Natalie recognizes him, she runs and jumps up and gives him a big hug around the shoulders. she feels relief to see somebody that was there at the start of this mess.
Marshall will just awkwardly like pat her on the back, and in his brain he's like, I remember like this always happened to me back in high school.
Super normal. Super normal.
Super normal. Just rolling my eyes about the whole thing, just like, oh gosh, not another one.
We could definitely try and make it back to the bazaar, but it seems like every time we step through a door, it leads someplace different. I don't know if we'll be able to find our way.
So Steve, is there any like is there anything that's out of the ordinary? Maybe like if we had initially heard one of the paper boys when we were first in the garage, Bill and I, is there any remnants of that, or from the, I don't remember the name of the Cockney lads,
the
but
roof rats. It was more New Yorker
the roof
than
rats.
Cockney, I guess. But yeah,
sure.
he no, that kid ran up the stairs just a minute ago. You did hear that clanking sound approaching before he pulled you into the stairwell. That sound continued for a bit after you got in here, but now it's silent.
Do any of these other characters happen to have bits of Paperboy on them or anything from maybe Bill's murderous gunshot spree?
Fritz does.
Fritz does?
You?
He's got a little piece of newspaper stuck in the back of his hair that no one's pointed out to him yet.
Is it doing anything?
It says James K. Polk elected president.
So I will...
I'd have to Google that.
I will take that bit of newspaper as if I'm like drawn to it and use my madness skill to maybe divine some inspiration on where we might find a printing press.
Ooh.
Nice use.
Okay. Yeah, that's a madness talent. Go ahead and roll that.
So,
How much pain?
yeah, what am I up against here?
That's a good question. You have a piece of paper that came from that place in your hand. So I'm going to say this is actually pretty easy for you. You're going to roll against 2 pain. You
All right, and I
have
have to use
you have to use all
madness.
your discipline
At least one.
and at least 1 madness. So minimum 4 dice.
And I'm up against 2.
Yes.
Just for fun, I'm just going to roll 3 of each.
Okay. That's what we like to hear.
Go hard or go home.
Oh wait, are you rolling? You're just rolling the 3 discipline and 3 madness dice, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
And then anything 3 or less is a success, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
All right, so I have 4 successes, and my highest roll is a 5, and that's on my madness dice.
Okay. Hold on. Let me check a rule. Domination. How many 5s do you have in madness?
Just 1.
Okay. I'm trying to remember how this works. I think we just go with the protagonist because I tied that. I have a 5 on pain.
Well, so what's your next lowest, Steve?
My next one's a 4. That's right. Yeah, that's how it works. What's your next lowest
What's
in
your
madness?
next lowest die?
Also a 4.
And
So
then
what's the
after
My
that,
next lowest is a 3.
and after that, I'm out of dice, so the madness dominates. Cool. So you succeed, and you get a very clear picture of where this piece of paper came from. You can walk straight there if you're at street level. No, not at street level. If you're at rooftop level, you can walk straight there, because this paper boy dwells mostly on the rooftops. So you'll have to go up there in order to get back to where this newspaper came from. But you know the place. There is a building. There is a newspaper office that you can get to.
So I will confusingly shake my head and then communicate with the rest of the group that I had a vision of where we can find a printing press and that I can take us directly there if anybody can get to a rooftop with me.
On the one hand, that seems pretty par for the course with this place. On the other hand, did you mark off one of your flight or fight responses?
Yeah, I have not yet described how the madness is going to dominate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he needs to choose one of them.
Yeah, you tell me. Fight or flight?
Flight.
Okay. So as soon as you get this image in your head, the door that you're all standing next to, the stairwell door, begins to shudder and bang, and something is on the other side is trying to yank the handle. But somehow the door seems to be locked and they're having trouble getting through. But they're banging on it violently. So, Marshall, how will you react with flight?
I think I'll back up from the door and look super scared while also looking around and trying to look tough also. So it's just an absolutely terrified toughness.
None of you guys can tell, except Natalie. Has an intuition into people's psychological states, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's as friendly as this sounds. Hey, you said you could lead us to wherever this thingamawatchie is? I mean, not that I don't know what a printing press is, but you got an idea how to get there? Let's get there. Or at least get away from this. Which way do we go?
To the roof. I don't know the best way to get there. We could use the windows or the walls. I'm not sure.
It's the roof. Let's go up.
Well, didn't we just come in the door from the parking garage? And then walk up the parking garage.
Yes, but the door is currently being pounded on by creatures from the
Oh,
other
that
side.
was.
Oh.
Oh, it's that door. I thought it was a different door. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wait.
Sensing Marshall's discomfort, I will put a hand on him to just kind of put him at ease.
Are we
just so my spatial relations are clarified, the door that's banging is to the roof.
The door that's banging is the one that you guys were all standing next to when you were talking. And you'll actually have to help me out, because when Natalie and Fritz came into the stairwell, you were a level below Bill and Marshall. Bill and Marshall were standing...
This is part of why what I'm trying to ascertain here is, did Bill and Marshall come in through this door? The door they came through, were they coming from the roof of the parking structure?
No, they were a level or two down from the roof when they came into the stairwell. And so
we could still go up this stairwell. Yes.
When Bill was on the roof, he didn't see the stairwell. He had to come down in before he saw a door to it. However, it does go up. Yeah.
and is someone who hasn't entirely embraced. I'm trying to embrace the dream logic because it's nice and it's easy,
Right.
but up is up.
Up is indeed up. That at
Well,
least we agree on.
And usually when in dreams you open the door, you go to where you want, right? So let's just go find a door.
Not this one, though.
No, but not the one banging.
Okay. Anyway, where I was going with that, the question I was going to ask you guys is, when you heard each other's voices, did Fritz and Natalie go up, or did Bill and Marshall go down?
I'm assuming Natalie and Fritz went up.
Yeah.
Okay, then the door that's banging on is the same door that Bill and Marshall came in through.
Okay, we probably don't want to go in that one, so let's just keep going up.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
And then
We walk out the door of a crashing plane.
That could happen.
Just as a side note, when Natalie touched my shoulder to try to calm me down, I actively tried to not wet myself because I'm scared. It didn't happen, but like I actively tried to not do that. So
I think you need to roll some discipline dice to see if you manage that.
I'm going to say that the man is capable of not wetting himself without rolling dice.
Oh, sorry, Marshall. Didn't mean to make it worse.
All right, so you guys are going up.
I still look tough,
Yeah,
so
we'll
it's
go
fine.
up.
Okay, up you
Third
go. You go up about 7 flights of stairs, which is about 3 more than there should have been on the whole building.
So like around flight 3 or 4, I'm gonna ask like Bill, hey, is this the like where we were where we met? Like this seems like we've been going up a ways, and I mean, it didn't seem like there were that many ways to go up.
Bill's
And
like,
I'm gonna start like looking for a door at each landing.
right.
There are doors at every landing.
Are they banging? Is there noise?
just the one that you guys left from had that happening.
I'm gonna start like opening them and poking, like just looking out, and like and seeing if I can find one that looks like it goes out to the roof or a roof.
Well, the first one's locked and you can't get it open. The second one opens into a long stone corridor that goes off into darkness. The third
Shebang.
one,
Yeah.
the third one opens into a room where a group of 3 old men sit at a small table playing cards.
Gentlemen, do any of y'all know where the roof is?
They look at you as though they didn't exactly understand, and then one of them says, "Larry, did you order a pizza?"
Breathe. Let me rephrase my question, guys. Do any of y'all know how to get to the roof from here?
Yeah, you go up.
Yeah, but I'm looking for slightly more detailed and specific directions.
Do you always just open people's doors like this?
Constantly. What even kind of room am I looking in on?
It's an apartment. It's one of these guys' apartment.
I look around and what door does it look like I'm opening from their end?
It's the front door of their apartment. That's why they thought you were bringing a pizza.
Does the front door of your apartment open onto some stairs?
If you don't have a pizza, Get out of here.
Apologies, gentlemen. And shut the door. I'm going to try the next door up.
This door opens, and when you look out, you just see the whole city stretching out before you. There's nothing outside. It's a door opening on the brick wall partway up a very tall building. If you stick your head out a little bit, you see that from the outside it's just a brick wall with a door in it, and there's nothing to step out onto, but you can see quite far.
But about how far up does it go?
Above you?
Yes.
About 3 more floors. Below you, about 8.
Could be worse. Can any of y'all fly? I mean, I know it sounds crazy, maybe even a little mad, but it seemed like a thing to ask.
I might be able to climb up there if I exert a little extra discipline.
Yeah, but can these two climb up there?
I cannot. And Bill's still walking up, like looking to see where the end of this stairwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stairwell that you're in still looks like the stairwell of the parking garage.
You know what, Steve? A thought occurs to Fritz at this point. Is there, like, you know how in some stairwells there is like a sliver of empty space down the middle?
In between, yeah.
Is there one of those here?
Yes.
How far up does this go?
1 more floor.
And is the answer yes?
The answer is yes. It goes up 1 more floor from what you can see.
Okay, well, that's not bad.
One thing I do notice is that Bill has not used his exhaustion talent at all this game.
True. I guess would preparedness in some way help us figure out where to go?
If you can think of something that is the exact thing you need right now, then maybe you just have it.
Oh, yeah, so Bill would be prepared to, like, if he had grabbed early on when he had come in through the parking garage and seen one of those emergency maps, right, that tell you, like, in case of a fire, here's how to exit.
Yeah.
So that'll help give him the directions out of here.
Okay. I'm not. You know what? I'm not even going to make you roll that because you just grabbed a map, obviously.
Right.
In a manner that can only be done in movies, where the map is just not secured in any way. You just reach out and take it.
Right.
Yeah, and it says you only need to go up 1 more floor.
Hey guys, 1 more floor. It's right up here.
I'm looking up. I'm kind of in, like, just really, because I just looked out and it was sure.
Yeah, but what you looked out of was also not a parking garage.
True. That's not false. But you know what? I am feeling a little done in by this craziness, so I am ready to follow.
Okay. Well, Bill leads you up another flight of stairs, at which point there is still 1 more flight of stairs. However, there is another door.
Bill will open it if he can.
You can, and you find yourselves on the roof of a different building.
So
roof's a roof.
Bill will look to Marshall. So which way do we go? Like as if you would know exactly.
Marshall, you do in fact know exactly.
I'm going to step out onto the roof and kind of get my bearings and then just kind of point and say, that way.
You guys are on the roof of the tallest building in the city. However, it is still possible to hop down to lower and lower roofs and get to where you need to go.
All right, guys. Is Marshall able? Like, Marshall, can you point, like, specifically where we need to go to me? Can you show me from where we're looking where we need to go?
Maybe, Steve?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I can. I point to that building right there.
Okay.
It's about a mile.
No, I'm gonna follow where he tells me where it is, and I am, like, from what I can see, from what we're looking down on, I would like to try and formulate a path to get down there for people who aren't very good at getting over and around stuff.
Yeah, give me a roll for that. You're going to roll against 3.
Okay, so I'm going to pull another point of exhaustion on that.
Okay.
And that's going to go up here. Nope, it's not going to go up there. There. I'm good at parkour, but I'm not necessarily great at teaching things.
Okay.
Spoilers! I am absolute dog shit at teaching things.
What you got, bud?
That is all. Oh, I got butt all the way down, but thankfully, unless pain is dominating with a, like, 2 6s or a 6 and 2 5s, I should have discipline dominating.
So you have no successes?
I literally got 2 4s, a 5, and 2 6s.
Wow.
Okay. So you said you have discipline dominating?
Yeah, I've got a 4 and a 6 on exhaustion, and a 4, 5, and 6 on discipline. So the 6s would cancel out, and then it would go down to the 5.
Yeah.
Unless pain is doing me something fierce here.
Well, it is. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, I know where that's going.
There are now 2 6s in pain. Pain is dominating. You fail to find the route that non-climby people can take. And also, the door that you guys just came out of opens again. And 3 very well-dressed, proper young ladies step out.
Oh, fuck.
And they look at you all, and they say, "Who allowed you up here?"
Ooh.
Oh. Well, Bill will look at him like, allowed who? This is a... We're allowed to be here.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a particular... I need to either increase my exhaustion by 1 or check off a response of the GM's choice. This is part of failure.
Oh, yeah. Do the exhaustion.
Okay. Ooh. That hurts. Okay.
Is that the first failed roll tonight?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
So Bill will look at the ladies and say, "Excuse me, do you know the way to the printing press?"
What on earth is this man talking about?
But,
It's a
sorry.
machine that turns out paper,
Steve, also, it probably seems kind of weird, but pain did dominate, and we should have another point of despair.
No, because I spent one. You can't spend one to get one.
You can't?
Nope, it's in there, trust me.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would be a perpetual motion machine of despair points.
Okay. No, I fully trust you.
Yeah, that one I know.
Okay.
Yeah, so where were we in that conversation?
So Bill is asking the nice ladies where the printing press is. They asked, what is this man talking about? And he assumes that they just don't understand what a printing press is. Because anyone would know what a printing press, or at least in his mind, anyone with half a brain should know what a printing press is.
Yeah. However, they clearly don't know what you mean by the printing press or why you think you have the right to speak to them. They have a look on their face as though they are being addressed by someone beneath them. And they are moving almost unconsciously moving in a way where they're spreading out, the three of them, to surround the group of you.
Well, Bill pulls out his gun and says, "Excuse me?" He doesn't like being talked to like that. He had enough of the bullshit of his bosses, right? And in his preparedness, he's planning ahead of like he can, figure out that there's some sort of ill intent of them surrounding him.
Yeah. So, the one who spoke before says, "You are trespassing at the high school. You belong to Mother Wynn now. But there's no need for this to get unpleasant. Please come inside. We will treat you well."
I'm going to step forward and be like, did somebody say high school? And just kind of act like they should know who I am.
I said that's Bill Marshall. He scored 4 touchdowns in one football game.
I'll just kind of like throw my hands up and be like, what have you ladies ever done in high school?
And they let you graduate?
Yeah.
Natalie takes a step behind the guys in just one of these things.
I'm gonna turn to Natalie, so I just catch the end of that, and I'm just like, oh, that's weird, but they don't seem to like talking to guys. I don't know if you want to try.
Okay, well, I'll step forward and we are just passing through. We just want to get to the ground level so we can walk through the streets. If you could show us the way there.
I don't know if you're lying on purpose, but that's actually not true. Marshall can only find the route on the rooftops.
Okay. Is there a fire escape?
So they look at you now, Natalie, and they say, Why do you spend your time in the company of lessers?
I look to the three guys around me and I'm like, they are my escorts. They are my protection. As you see, I'm not dressed in my best. It is a disguise to keep me safe.
Yeah, more likely you are their harlot. You wear their clothes. You smell of their soaps. You were not educated well.
That my eyes kind of go saucer size. It's like I am a nurse. I am trained to heal and help the sick and dying.
Useless pursuits. You will come inside, or there will be trouble.
Can I say, as my character, I would probably already open fire at this point.
Okay, let's do that.
For disrespecting Natalie, for calling her a harlot.
These are also women, though.
Yeah, true. That's right. So that's probably the only thing that would hold him back. But he'd be like, "Hey, excuse me, there is no need for such impolite talk. We're just passing by." And then at this point, he's gonna ignore them and say, "Marshall, just let's get out of here. Which way do we need to go?"
I'm going to point to the same building again.
But we just can't get there from here.
They're going to attack you if you guys try to ignore them. So
Having been insulted, Natalie's prepared to fight. She's like,
Yeah.
fighting words. Useless pursuits.
So how do you guys wish to engage them? The way this works generally is there's not much in the way of assistance here in this game, but it can be done, and it's something like, let me find it. Helping. Here we go.
18.
Yeah, 24 and 25 as well. I don't know what's on 18. Let's see.
Helping.
Oh. That's
You're
odd.
looking at the PDF.
I am looking at the PDF. Is it on a different page number in the print book? I also
I
have
think
that
the
here.
PDF might have a couple extra pages ahead of it.
No,
How
it
are they attacking us?
actually is on page 24 and 25.
What the hell?
Different
Give a different
edition,
printing?
maybe?
Apparently?
Wow, interesting.
You've got more stuff in yours?
Maybe. I have a
We
total
need to
of
compare notes later.
yeah.
I'm curious.
The index starts on page 76 and goes to 77.
Yeah, I've got that.
That's weird. Anyway,
Very. Yeah.
so the way helping works is each protagonist, so basically a main protagonist, one of you who is probably best suited to it, is going to roll for the combat. Each protagonist assisting a main protagonist may roll their discipline dice as a secondary contribution to the conflict. So those additional dice rolled by other people may add success to the main protagonist's degree, but do not participate in strength or what dominates. So you can add successes. If it's not clear who the main protagonist is, you all roll, and I think that's the case in this situation. You're all equally involved here, so you'll all roll, and whoever has the highest number of successes is the main protagonist for the purposes of this roll.
Are we all only rolling discipline dice?
No, wait, but
Okay.
for three of you, only the discipline dice will count.
Because I am currently at 3 exhaustion.
Okay, so again, for three of you, only the discipline dice will count. Whoever has the most successes is going to be the one who gets to determine everything else.
And how are these ladies attacking us? With what? Like their fists? With like I'm trying to gauge what would Bill's response be in his fighting back.
Well, their hands suddenly elongate into sharp, shiny claws. Their faces stretch out Bilbo Baggins style into these gaping maws, and they come at you like demons, basically.
Oh, okay, then Bill's opening fire.
Yeah, I thought so.
Like full madness level, just opening like Matrix level, any Hong Kong, John Woo film.
I would say Natalie's probably got a self-defense tool in her bag. She pulls out one of those extending, like, snaps it out. Baton, yeah.
I've got one of those. You guys are rolling against 7 pain.
All right.
So my impression of this is that Bill would be the main protagonist at this point. So can we all support him, or just like one?
If you guys all agree that Bill is the main here, then yes, you'll all just roll your. I mean, from a storytelling perspective, he's not in this scene the main protagonist, but he's the one with the gun. Yeah, so.
For this conflict, he is the main protagonist.
All right.
Because
he's decided to open fire, right? So.
Yeah. So then I decide how many madness dice I'm going to do.
Yeah. So Bill, you choose the number of madness dice. You may also add exhaustion if you want to, and then everyone else just roll your discipline. I'm sorry.
I'll do 3.
Yeah, just your discipline. So everybody who's not Kenny should just be rolling 3 dice. All right.
I have 3 successes, 2 1s, and a 3.
Oh, excellent.
2 successes.
Okay.
All right.
I just have 1.
1 success, and Kenny.
So I rolled 3 6s. Now, 2 of them were in discipline. One of them was in madness. So I assume in that case, discipline wins, right? Because there's 2.
Yeah, discipline's gonna dominate for sure.
Right, but then I got 2 successes.
You have 2 successes plus 6 from your comrades makes 8 successes. The ladies in Hating got 4, and discipline dominates. Yes. So with extreme skill and just perfect precision, Bill raises that revolver and pops each of them twice between the eyes. The rest of you running to fight serves only to distract the ladies for Bill to get his shots off. And all of you witness as Bill calmly lowers the gun and reloads it, and then pops them all again. And they're dead.
And then just nonchalantly, as if nothing had happened, Bill turns to Marshall and goes, "All right, so which way were we headed again?"
Natalie's a little shocked at the violence with the gun, but
they were clearly monsters.
Fritz is shocked, but he knows a Karen when he encounters one.
Oh. My middle name's Karen.
I'm sorry.
Natalie Karen Kroll, yeah.
That's funny.
Marshall just looks at Bill and he's like, "Whoa!" Like finally, Bill impressed Marshall.
Marshall, you were just about to lay him out, though. You were just about to.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh.
All right, so, Marshall, you are the one who knows the way at this point.
So I would like to lead the way, but I don't know how to get from one rooftop to another. So
the rooftops here are really closely packed. You do not need to be a parkour or a climber expert in order to just hop over. Anyone can do it.
In that case, I will act as if I know exactly what I'm doing, and just leap from one building to the next. I'll throw in some flourishes as I see fit.
Yeah, Natalie and Fritz are just not impressed by your flourishes. Bill kind of is.
Yeah. He's remembering your high school glory.
Yeah. I don't really even know how to do that. Just land on one foot for a second. I don't know.
Like I'll land on the roof and like stop, and then like somersault on the floor, and then stand up, and then run to another rooftop, and
right.
Like,
and meanwhile, Bill's
it.
coming behind you, just stepping calmly over the same gap.
I'll do like a cartwheel in one roof, but like everything is just incredibly safe, so that by the time I get from like one rooftop to the next, I just delicately step over, and then between the rooftops is just like all fake stunts.
Okay. Well, your behavior manages to keep any denizens of the rooftops from approaching you guys.
Out of fear.
Out of confusion. And before long, you have traversed the mile, and you are at the rooftop of the newspaper.
So I'll turn to everybody and be like, "Was that a mile? I once ran a 4-minute mile. It's pretty impressive. My name is still up on the high school board, and my name is spoken of highly."
Bill, you know this to be true.
Yes. Yes, very much so.
You still go to the high school games sometimes.
Yes. So is there a way into the down from the roof now?
There's a fire escape.
Hey, that doesn't involve a door. I say we go down it.
Or
Sure.
a skylight, yeah. Fire escape.
Okay. So going down the fire escape, you occasionally are able to see in the windows that it connects to. Most of them have the curtains drawn, but you pass one where you see a hallway inside, which at first is empty, but then a paperboy hustles past on his way somewhere.
Can I use my exhaustion skill to go back and get something? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's like we could do like a flashback if necessary, or you can just say you have it.
All right, so in the flashback, Bill, as he was making his way down through the parking garage, going by the various vehicles, broke off from the Harley, the rearview mirror.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I'm not even a motorcycle guy, and that offends me.
and Bill is now going to try and see if he can, use the mirror in a way to see if to catch the sun to set fire to one of the paper boys.
Okay, I am going to make you roll this one. I'm going to make you roll. I'm going to make you roll, first of all, as your exhaustion talent. Okay. Whether you were physically capable of ripping a mirror off a Harley.
Okay. So I roll 1 exhaustion dice plus my discipline.
Yeah, you can add an exhaustion if you would like to.
Oh, is that how it works with the... Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'll use an exhaustion die on this one.
Well, let me clarify.
Sure.
If you had an exhaustion dice in your pool already, you have to roll that one. But anytime you roll, you may choose to add another one.
Gotcha. I haven't used any exhaustion dice at all.
Didn't you roll one earlier? Well, you have to have...
No, I just madness.
Okay. You have to have at least one in your pool if you're using your exhaustion talent.
Okay. Yeah, I think last time you said it was a success, but true, I would have used one then, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So I'll have one. So I'll use that one automatically. And then, or do I roll 2 now? I have to add a new one.
You don't have to add a new one. If you've already got one in your pool, you don't have to add a new one.
Okay, I'll keep the one in my pool plus my discipline. All right. So definitely dominance or discipline is the dominant one, but I have 1 success.
Okay. So you failed to break that off.
Okay.
Because I had 2 successes. What did you dominate with? What was the number?
Discipline, a 6.
Okay. Well, that beats mine. So yeah, I got 2 successes on pain, so you did not break the mirror off, but discipline dominates, so nothing extra happens. Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have the mirror here.
Darn. Was it worth a try?
You did try, but it was on there pretty good.
Damn, Harley's an American craftsmanship. It'd been one of those cheap Hondas.
That guy that you walked in on your wife with, he rides a Harley, and so that's probably why you're just trying to yank mirrors off of him.
Yeah. Just hate him.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that didn't work. What else you guys got?
Do we see any way into this building?
Yeah, you're on a fire escape. You can go in any of these windows.
Do we see this printing press?
Not from the window of the fire escape. No, you don't see that. But Marshall can confirm that the scrap of paper he pulled out of your hair came from a printing press in this building. Marshall will know that. Matt, you're muted.
I said I definitely know that, and did we just see the one paperboy?
Yeah, only one went by the window here.
So when the one runs by, I guess I'll look inside the window to see if there's any others that are visible from the window we're at.
Are you sticking your head in?
No, but more
Then
just
you
like
don't see
pressing my
anything.
face up against the.
Okay. You don't see anything more than you could without doing that. You'd have to stick your head in to get a significantly different angle.
I will stick my head in.
Okay. Looking to your right is a bathroom. Looking straight, the hallway goes and then turns and you're not sure where. Looking to your left is a bullpen filled with paperboys.
Do they see me?
Nope, they're at work. They're making a newspaper. They're running around. It's like an old-timey reporter's bullpen.
Has anybody got a book of matches?
Yeah, I was going to wonder the same thing.
They're paper.
Bill might later.
Yeah.
If the dice are in his favor.
Did I forget to say my madness talent was origami? So just fold them.
Fold them into little dinosaurs.
So
I'm gonna kind of roll back out, and guys, toilet. Don't know. Lots of fucking paper boys.
I will say this. Something I have been forgetting, which may be relevant if you guys choose to make it relevant. Bill's madness talent, we have been using kind of like an exhaustion talent. You've been an excellent shot, but that's a normal thing that you're just supernaturally good at. That's how an exhaustion talent works. A madness talent is supposed to be overtly supernatural, something that is impossible for a normal person. So theoretically,
could I do like a cool ricochet shot or something like that?
You could do that, or I was thinking something like you could have the gun fire other stuff.
Like fire. We could burn all those paper boys.
Yeah. The
You can make it super complicated. The gun can fire matches.
Yeah, but strike anywhere matches.
Right,
Or the
right.
gun could shoot around corners, like
Right.
it can do things guns can't do.
Again, since I've been having a lot of movie and TV references, his is that the gun bullets can cause, explosions that normally, wouldn't happen in reality, right? Where like you shoot a car and it explodes, sort of thing. So
Yes. Okay. And it doesn't have to be the same every time.
no, oh, okay, you can change that as the madness part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your madness is just your gun stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So he's going to envision himself like, again, like in a movie with, since this is a dream, he's like an action hero where,
You're going to dive through the window and blow something up on your way down.
right. And then as the
John Woo
explosion
style.
goes off behind him, like he's just not going to look behind because heroes don't look behind at explosions, sort of thing.
Right. Well, that means nothing's going to explode until you turn away from it.
Right, exactly. So that'll be so what here's what I'll if I could do is I'll use my exhaustion talent for preparedness, where Bill will think of a plan of how to go into the room and maximize his where he could shoot to cause as much damage into the printing press, and then he'll use his madness skill to jump in like a just blaze of glory.
Okay. Yeah. Roll me a check for the exhaustion talent.
Okay.
You're gonna roll. Just really, all you need to know is what this printing press is gonna look like. So
Right.
that's fairly easy information to acquire, I think.
Okay.
So you're gonna roll against 3 pain.
Right. Let's see. I'll 3 pain. So I'll take an extra exhaustion die. Right. So
Yeah, you can do
I'll
that.
give you 5.
Yeah.
So, all right. I have 5 successes out of 5.
Okay.
But my highest are 2 3s.
5 successes. So
2 3s on which?
So one is on exhaustion, one is on discipline, but then you go down, the next is exhaustion. So I have a 2 on exhaustion, and then 2 1s on discipline.
okay. Well, you succeed, but pain dominates. So your success allows you to have. You just happen to have read a book recently on your phone at work about old printing presses and how they are built. And you happen to know that some of them were hydraulic powered and that there is a place you can shoot where often, as a factory defect, they would be overpressurized. And if you shoot in the right place, you can blow up the whole damn printing press. Pain dominates because you are not sure if that kind of printing press you read about is what's going to be in that room. So it's appropriate for the era of the rest of the building seems to demonstrate. However, because you're not sure, it's going to add 1 extra pain die to your next roll when you roll your madness talent.
All right. So,
Also despair.
right. What's that?
Or despair.
Can we use
Oh
our
yeah, I
despair?
got to give you a despair point. Thank you.
Oh.
You guys can spend the hope points. When I
Yes.
spend despair, I move it over to the hope column, which those are the tokens you guys can spend.
Gotcha.
You can use one to reduce your exhaustion, or restore discipline, which none of you have lost any discipline, or you can use one to improve your success. So you can add, if you're missing something, you can take that hope point and add a 1 to your discipline pool.
Gotcha. So, and if I'm just tracking the dice rolls, so I've got my 2 discipline. I've had 2 exhaustion. I'm forced to use them now, right? Or I'm up to 3 exhaustion.
Yep.
No, you have
Right.
3 discipline.
Three discipline always. Yeah.
Right. Now I'm up to
2
2
exhaustion.
exhaustion.
Yeah.
And then I can put in as many madness dice as I want.
Correct. Up to 6.
All right. Up to 6. So I'm going to use 3.
Okay. You're going to be rolling against 5 because you've got to
Okay.
get into that room, find the printing press with your eyeballs, get your shot
Right.
off, hope it's the right kind, and not die on the way.
And speaking of hope, if
Yeah.
I
So-
could use the hope to do that.
Well, you don't, Steve. You don't have to use the hope until after you've rolled, right?
Right after you roll, before
Okay.
the results are narrated. Yeah. So
Gotcha. So
he's
if
right.
I
We
roll-
can
I
save it. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Whew. Okay. I have to decipher. So I rolled 4 6s.
Okay. How
Well,
many
take-
successes though?
2.
2 successes.
So
Like, oops.
So the good news is that 2 of my 6s were in discipline. So I think we're not going to suffer.
Well, could be.
But the question is, I probably didn't get enough successes for it to be.
Well,
but if
you got 2 successes. I got 2 successes. So we're tied on that. I believe the rule is, in this case, that the protagonist wins. But I am just double checking real quick.
sure.
Man, I read this like 4 times and now I can't find it.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Okay, yeah, here it is. If more than one pool has the same strength, well, I'm not looking at strength. I'm looking at
I have successes.
degree. Okay, more than one side got the same number of successes, and the protagonist wins. Yes, that's
Okay.
it. So you won that. But what was your? You had 2 6s in something.
I had 4 6s, 1 in madness, 1 in exhaustion, and 2 in discipline.
So discipline dominates somehow because I had a 6 and 2 4s in pain. And I was like, that's going to be hard to beat. This guy just rolled 2 6s in discipline. Okay. That's so Bill Foster, after calmly executing 3 ladies in hating, just steps into a window, really wishing he had a mirror for some damn reason. And then he runs into this room, slides on his knees, finds the exact printing press he was reading about on the internet the other day, shoots it right in both of its hydraulic pump things, and it starts to build up pressure in all the wrong places, and he can see bolts flying off. And Bill just calmly stands up, walks back out the way he came in, and you guys looking in through the window as he goes past see all of this fire and gas and ink just go blasting. The whole place explodes. There's dead paper boys everywhere, and Bill never looks back.
Instead, he just says, "Libel hurts."
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Bill has solved his problem.
Bill thinks he's going to wake up now, but it's not.
Yeah, the rest of you, all of you, still have the broader problem of being in the Mad City. We've got about 10 minutes. Here's my pitch to you guys. We can put a pin in this here and schedule a part 2 for some later date. What do you guys think?
I'm good.
I like that plan.
I like that idea.
All right.
I'm enjoying this.
This is good. I've always wanted to do more than one session of this game. My previous two outings were both one shots, so that'll be good. All right, guys. I hope you like the game. I'm a big fan of the world. As I said, I think the rules are a little overcomplicated, but they're not too bad once you learn them. I guess that's anything.
No, yeah, they're very early aughts.
Yeah.
They're very early aughts.
I have a feeling that's why they're not rushing to reprint this thing. I feel like they've gotten better and they're kind of embarrassed by their earlier attempts.
No. So they've been asked about, like, there's the discussion on DriveThruRPG, and someone asked about print on demand, and apparently the file type that they have for this is incompatible with Drive-Thru's print-on-demand service.
Yeah, I read that, but as a person who works sort of adjacent to that world, that's a very solvable problem. If you're just willing to put the time into it. And so when I read that, I was like, it just takes time and effort that they don't want to put into it right now.
No, and they've got a lot of other irons in the fire.
Yeah, they do. They've got a lot of great games. Evil Hat is one of the best publishers out there.
I I just got my Thirsty Sword Lesbians like a month ago.
Yeah, we've run several of their games on this channel. We've run this game on this channel before.
Yeah, we ran Monster of the Week a couple months ago.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it for us. We'll see everyone next week for Merkborg. And thank you guys so much for playing, especially Kenny and Mia for staying up late to do it.
Thank you both.
Yes. And I look forward to playing with some of you next week. Peace out.
I look forward to everyone I'm playing with in the next couple weeks.
Yes.
All right.
Have a good one, you guys.
Everyone.
Good night.
Sleep well. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.